Hey, Emma here from Team Living Your Dream, and today in 7-Minute Success Secrets, I want to talk a bit about how to change your mind. We are a product of our thinking. You know, how we live, our results in our life are as a direct result of how we think. You know, what we put in will come out. So if we put a lot of negativity in, a lot of negativity will come out. And if your life isn't where you want it to be, you know, if you're not the success in your life that you want, or even if you're stuck, if you found yourself going round and round in circles or doing the same thing day in, day out, it will be a direct result of how you're thinking, and things need to change. If you want something different in your life, you need to be prepared to do something different. And it all starts with the thinking. As I was saying yesterday, you know, you are a product of your best thinking. So if you want to change, you have to change your thinking. Now, it's easy to do, but you have to put it into practice. And if you have been practicing thinking in a negative way for many years, a lifetime for many, you know, actually we learn how to think from the influence around us as we're growing up, and that might be our parents, it might be our friends, different influences in our life. If they thought in a negative way, like if you've got parents that suffer from worry or anxiety or depression or miserable or critical, you will have grown up with that around you, and it is absolutely understandable that you will have inherited some of those ways of thinking. You know, we learn how to be at an early age from our close influences in our life. So, although you may have unconsciously grown up in that way and thinking in the same way, it doesn't mean to say that you can't change it, because you can. But as I say, if you've practiced thinking in a negative way or an unhelpful way for a long time, it will become natural to you, and it will become your default, and it will be what you slip into without even realising. But you can change it. And there's a number of ways. I mean, being consciously aware of it helps. Start having some self-awareness that you actually do think in a negative way. You know, are you the sort of person who, if somebody says, oh, let's go to whatever shop, you'll go, oh yeah, it won't be open at this time, or that'll never happen, or it's bound to be sold out, or I'll never get that now. You know, do you automatically err on the side of caution? You know, are you the sort of person who looks at the worst possible scenario and what the risk might be before you make a decision? You know, that could be an indication of some internal negative thinking going on. So self-awareness has a lot to sorry, still got the cold. Self-awareness has a lot to answer for. You know, if you can become aware of how you're thinking, and I found this is many people's biggest problems, is that they just don't know how they think. They're just not aware of, to the extent of their negativity in their mind. They think it's normal because that's how they've grown up. And people around them have been like that, so they think that is perfectly normal. But it's not. It's just how you think. It's not how everybody thinks. It's just how you think. So changing it is important. Now, self-awareness, great, tick number one. But the influences around you, what you're inputting every single day, will have an impact. Now, think about that at the moment. Our modern society and our modern culture is full of negativity around us. Adverts on telly actually deliberately prey on people's fears, so they're reinforcing fears all the time, which is negativity, because they want to offer you the solution. But they're preying on fears. The news, I mean, do you listen to the news? I haven't listened to the news for years. Do I know what's going on in the world? Possibly, slightly. Does it matter? Does it impact me? When it needs to, I hear about it. But most of the time, you know, actually, it doesn't matter to me. And I don't say that out of, I have no compassion. Of course I do. But if it's something I can't do anything about or influence, I don't let that negativity come in. I learned this actually a long time ago, well, a few years ago. I was living in Kathmandu in Nepal, and at the time there was a lot of political uprising in Nepal. There had been, this was 2005, 2006, and the king had a royal coup, and he sacked his government and took power back for himself. And it was all because the Maoists wanted to be recognised as a political party in the country. And there was a lot of unrest and trouble. The king then actually got sacked from the government, he got ousted. And then the Maoists were allowed in as one of the 7 party lines. But anyway, you don't need a history of Nepal. But what I'm saying is I was living there at the time, and I was perfectly safe. I never felt under threat at all. However, I would get SOS messages from my mother and from by email, or she'd be trying to get hold of me on the phone, saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'd like ring her and like, or you know, why? Yes, what's happened? And she said, "There's been a bomb in Kathmandu," and I had no idea about this. You know, I was living there, but it didn't hit me as the news didn't affect my life. But what I'm saying is the news, basically, they sensationalise a lot of the stories to make them newsworthy. And the news is full of doom and gloom. When did you last hear half an hour of the news of all of lovely success stories of people? You know, some local news channels might have the last story of the news with something nice, but generally it's all doom and gloom. Now that is going into your unconscious mind, all the negativity you are taking in. Where you work at your department or the people you work with, are you lucky enough to work in a department of positivity and solutions and everybody's enthusiastic about their job and the future? Or do you work in a place of low morale? You know, again, it brings you down. It makes you sink to the same level. It's terribly debilitating. You know, if you've ever worked in one of the departments, how difficult it is for you to keep your head above the parapet, being happy and genuinely cheerful and enthusiastic and energised inside, when all around you is moaning about the product, the company, the boss, something else, the rules, the procedures, how much work they've got to do. You know, how hard is it or easy is it to ignore all that? You know, it's near on impossible, isn't it? And it does get to you, and you end up falling in. We're tribal creatures at the end of the day. You know, we are pack animals. We're tribal. We don't like to stand out from the crowd, particularly as a race. So when the majority around you is being negative, it is a natural human instinct to be part of that. And actually the other people in that tribe, in that pack, if you're not, they will do everything they can to bring you in to their way of thinking, because they want that conformity. And if you refuse to conform, actually you will end up being ousted. You will end up being put on the outside because you're not considered part of that pack. You know, so, you know, if you do constantly refuse to get involved in the negativity, if you're in a department with low morale, you will eventually find yourself sidelined. So, you know, do you conform or do you stand aside? Well, many people end up conforming. And again, it's just that negative influence all the time. When you go home, what are the people around you like? What are your friends like? What are your family, your relationship, your partner? Are they full of enthusiasm and fun and laughter and the joys of the day? Or is it doom and gloom and misery and moaning and criticism? You know, these are all the influences that are around you all the time. And you need to protect yourself against it somehow. Now, the ways you can do that are by reversing the stream of negativity. Don't expose yourself to the news and the negativity in the world. Listen to positive, uplifting audio in your downtime, when you're doing stuff that doesn't take mental power, like, I don't know, when I'm doing my hair, when I'm straightening my hair, I listen to audios. When I'm in the bath, I listen to audios. When I'm travelling around, when I'm walking, I listen to positive audios. We have a product in the Empower Network called the Inner Circle, and they're all positive audios targeted at changing you from the inside. There's also reading, reading positive stuff, but also refusing to get involved. If you are in a hugely negative environment and it's holding you back in life, change it. There are many times when I have left a job or stepped out of a relationship that's very negative because it's dragged me down. And okay, I'm not suggesting you split up with your partner tomorrow, but if you have a hugely negative influence close in your life, you need to find a way of dealing with that. And you cannot control other people and how they think and behave, but you can control the way you're dealing with it. So, changing your thinking, going back to the beginning and wrapping my 7-minute success secrets that I'm sure has gone on a lot longer than that today, for today is, okay, you need to eliminate the negative influence in your life and input positive influence. And you can do that by reading, listening and watching positive things in your life instead of negative. Don't just go with the flow. Step outside, be consciously aware of what you're inputting into your mind and make a deliberate effort to change it. When you do this constantly and consistently, you will notice the compound effect of constant positive input, and it will change you from the inside, which will have a positive input on your life from on the outside, and you will find those things that you want to happen just happening because you've changed from the inside. A bit more about that tomorrow. Sorry, I've gone on a bit today, gone off a ramble, but I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.